What you're about to listen to is pulled from a marketing mastermind call that we did several months ago inside of Hybrid Hub. The goal last January was to work through the marketing system inside the program live together so we could see how well these systems worked for specific members and how to fix the areas where they fell off. These snippets are hopefully valuable, but they don't show how amazing and funny and smart and supportive all the members of Hybrid Hub are. So if you're listening to this episode and you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing, this is a room I need to be in live, then book a free one-on-one call below so we can chat about if Hybrid Hub is the right fit to scale your photo video business this year. On to the episode. Okay, I do have a spiel, but that's like the spirit's compelling me to say that you're not annoying by reminding your photo only clients that you can do video. And the reason for that is, as a videographer, primarily, I think the reason my ego doesn't get worried about this as much is because I already have an understanding that I'm the last to book. People book me last when they book me for video only. So I'll get inquiries a month out from a wedding, 2 months out from a wedding, 3 months out from a wedding for people wanting videography, but they were just waiting to make sure they could afford it because it's sometimes last priority. And that doesn't mean that the service isn't valuable. It means that they're prioritizing photos, floral, feeding their friends and family, lodging over everything else. And video is the last thing, the last bougie thing they can afford. So don't be scared to keep reminding them throughout planning, hey, I do video. If there's any budget for video in all of your messages leading up to their day. It's not annoying. It's actually serving them really well. So yay, Emily. I'm so excited for you. So proud. That's awesome. How does that feel?
It feels so good. She sent me a message. She was like, this feels like it's the last piece missing to complete our wedding day. I was like, oh, so
Amazing. Hell yeah. I'm
love.
so excited. Sorry, I am obviously since I closed my studio, I've been working in our kitchen and people are always standing outside, the neighbors, and I'm scared, so scared of them. Our house is the street that leads to this neighborhood's lake access. So everyone's always doing their morning walks on the way to the lake, which I love, but it's just a little scary in the winter when everyone's bundled up. Uh, hello. Okay, what a weekend. And here's where I want to go today because technically where we are with me explaining the marketing system is what we do on a monthly level. All of you have your sheets that you can pull up if you want. I'll also be explaining it today. But on the monthly level, the big boys that you do, you block out a day for batching your long form content and probably another day for batching your captions for your short form content, right? Easy enough. We're not reinventing the wheel here. I've been hammering this home all month. But as we get through the month, a lot of you are thinking about your packages. You're thinking about what you want to rank and search for. You've heard me screaming that it's a level 1 emergency if you're not ranking for your main thing. And I think sometimes that is where perfectionism can start to creep up for us, right? We got through the learning and we're starting to go into implementing and we're thinking, I'm failing if this blog post isn't perfect. I'm failing if I'm not already ranking. I'm failing if I am missing my deadlines for Shay and I can't make this how I want it to be in time. And the encouragement I want to give you is to remember to not make good the enemy of done. And what I mean by that is no one is it's not going to kill you to edit these blog posts later, right? It's not going to kill you to push out a subpar video and then later edit it to meet your new portfolio standards when your talent gets up to that point. No one's gonna die if your pricing guide says 3,000 one week and 4,000 the next week. We just need to get this shit done and then fix it later, as we test it. And in my own life, in my example of this is I actually gave Brianna a shit ton of homework last week. And I was I'm not going to give Brianna this task and not do it myself and not do it psychotically and better and more quantity than I'm asking this person to do, right? And so as we know, since November co-working, those of you who are around for free co-working in November, I started a project that I wanted to get done in November. Okay, I want you that to sink in for you all. I wanted the copy for blog posts about every single ceremony site in Glacier National Park to be done during co-working in November. So that didn't get done. And it didn't get done in December, and it's not done here on January 19th. And it would be so easy to say, wow, I'm a fuck up. Why can't I get all this done? Why can't I just make the time for it? But that's not the story I want to tell myself, right? The story I want to tell myself is I have this goal and it's an ambitious goal and I know it'll serve my clients so well. And I know strategy wise that getting videos embedded into each of these blog posts will make them rank. Like these will rank number one as long as there's a video embedded in them. I know that, I believe that, I understand that. So since I'm off track on my goal, the question turns into how can I make this easy? How can I make this done? And so I looked at my calendar and I was like, what if I had one done every Monday? If one was up every Monday, what would that look like? Well, what that looks like is a blog post up through July every week. Like, that's not too fucking bad, you know? So, like psychotic Shayna, who wants the perfect version of every idea to be done as fast as possible, wanted all of these up by the end of 2025, like, period. And so, revising my expectations to how can I make this easy and what's the like easiest version of this idea is still pretty ambitious, right? That's a blog post up every week through July. And so I thought to myself, what would it look like for to follow the actual system that I've set up for Hybrid Hub for me to define what I'm trying to rank and search for. That definition is ceremony sites in Glacier National Park. Now I want to define how many pieces of long form I'll have up per month, right? Once a week, that's around 4 or 5, depending on the month. And so if I'm following the system, and I'm batching all my long form for a month. So I'm batching for February plus a couple for the rest of January, right? One for the rest of January. How many blog posts is that? That's 5 blog posts. Is that possible? It was. I did it on Saturday. I laid in bed and I got them done on Saturday. Okay. So that batching session for the copy to get through February is done. And then the next part is what would make it possible to get a YouTube video done since I'm asking Brianna to do this? What would make it possible for me would be to just make the talking head parts just the intros, right? So just the hi, like you're here because you want this. My name's Shayna for each blog post is batched. Okay. And then my lazy ass, the next thing that would make this simple and possible and doable was to take out my microphone and I read the blog posts that are batched through February. And I've got to tell you, I didn't want to. Okay, I didn't feel like it. I've also made a goal to get 10,000 steps per day, which for some of you is very, very easy. And for me, it's really not because I can get really hyper focused on my work and I sit my ass in this desk chair for 10 hours a day and it's psychotic. And I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to model that for my kids. So I've made this goal to get my butt out in the beautiful nature I live in and to walk. And so I would read the blog post grumpily and it would take me 12 to 15 minutes. And then I would walk to the lake and walk back. And then I read the blog post grumpily and I walked to the lake and I walked back. And I did that over and over and over again yesterday until they all were read. And so now what's going to make this possible? Now I'm going into Canva and I'm literally just making title slides, right? So like titles will be basically the headings of this blog post. And the answers are going to be the next slide, and I'll just stick those into the video. The last thing that's making this very doable and very possible is I screen recorded the process for getting a permit for your ceremony in Glacier. And then I screen recorded the process for getting your marriage license in Montana. This took maybe 15 minutes total, and I'm sticking those into all of these videos. I'm not redoing that every time. Let me tell you, first of all, about how imperfect these intro videos are. I had one light on me, and then I had window light on the other side. You can kind of see, like, the highlights are blown out in these fucking videos. I didn't feel like setting up a backdrop. I didn't feel like making it perfect. My little dining nook table is full of shit. It's so cluttered, but it's done. I'm not letting done be the enemy. I'm not letting good be the enemy of done. Okay. So now all I have to do is put these videos together on today's a batching day for me. So I will get it done. And I want this to be your encouragement that like, I don't like doing this shit either. But like when you have the goal and you understand the steps it's going to take to get to the goal, And then you think to yourself, what will make this the easiest it can be? And then you just follow the process and not worry about your feelings. You will get where you want to go. And I promise you that. So, with that, I do want to do a little check in with you on anything that's feeling hard so we can all workshop how to make it easier and just get it done. But also, I want to bring in I sound like a cult member, which I probably kind of am. Like, one of my favorite things that my favorite writer, Elizabeth Gilbert, says is that bored, tired, and lonely are all okay. And feel that for a second. If you're bored doing something, that's fine. If you're tired, that's fine. Still do it if you made that commitment. If you're lonely, sit in that and do what you say you're going to do. Bored, tired, and lonely are all okay. Like, we don't need the drug of scrolling this when we feel these things. Do you understand? We don't need the drug of finding a distraction in this rectangle in our hand when we feel bored, tired, or lonely. We just need to stay in integrity with what we say we're going to do, even if it's not the perfect end product that we might be imagining. So that's my Monday motivation. Brianna, how are you feeling?
Well, that was pretty much what I needed to hear.
What a great Monday, you guys. Holy shit, I'm so proud of you. But do you all have your marketing master doc open? Okay, great. So if you weren't here last time, we were on the quarterly tab, and basically you're just calendaring when you're going, what you're doing, like for long form, like, and you know what you're trying to sell for the quarter, and then you're calendaring every month when you're batching your long form content. So on the monthly level, now it's time to execute what you promised yourself you would do. So we're running toward the end of January. So if this means you're batching for February, I think that's beautiful, gorgeous. I'm doing similarly. But some of you did make a commitment to get a blog post up before the end of January. I would love if you honored that commitment and you posted your blog post in Hybrid Hub for review. Awesome, Kaylee. She looks excited. Brianna, I know you can do it. And then Emily's outsourcing, which I think is great. Gabby, are you going to get that post up
When does it have to be done by?
before the end of January?
Yes. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For a second, I
Okay.
was like, for like today? Like, no.
No, no, that's okay. No, no, no. But I do want you to define when that's going to be done. And I want it posted in Hybrid Hub just so I can hold you accountable and celebrate you. Don't forget you get a discount on Danielle's templates, or you can make your own template with the robot. I don't care what you do. I do get $3 if you get Danielle's template. And then I'd love for you to, before the end of January, batch all of your February captions. And if you want to do that in a Google Doc and link it in Hybrid Hub, just so I can see, that would be amazing. And then schedule your short form content days. I do it on Sunday or Monday for the week, but just make yourself do your creative to go along with your captions at least once a week. Does that sound good? Okay, here's where I want to end this. Follow the system and not your feelings. Because listen, I get it. Like if you're slogging for a week or two, especially if you get to that second week and you're not seeing tangible results yet from all this work you're doing, it's so easy to get shiny object syndrome and to try something else or to quit this part of the system, whatever part you're on, and just write it off. What I beg for you to do is to understand that all of your efforts week over week will compound, right? So like I have inquiries for blog posts that I posted 2 years ago that first year I never heard anything about these blog posts. Like your efforts in this area will compound. I'm getting inquiries from this Instagram system I'm trying that I wouldn't have gotten if I wasn't like actively trying to be better at Instagram. And I want to remind you, like, I was in a fucking funk in December. Like, I was refusing to post. I felt so self-conscious. I felt like everyone hated me. I was having like a cute little depressed month. And so I wasn't doing short form and I was stalling my own growth and success because I was listening to my feelings instead of my system. So I want you to remember, like, I'm a real person. I'm a working photographer, videographer asking you to do this shit. I'm not just like telling you to do it and like telling you I'm perfect. Like, I'm looking at you and I'm watching your socials and I just want to see that you're showing up for yourself and being in integrity with what you say you're going to do. And by being in Hybrid Hub, you're telling yourself that you're going to follow these systems. So I'm begging you to just put this on the calendar, to schedule your long form batching days, get those blog posts up, get your captions done, keep posting on social, and watch these efforts compound. I'm just really fucking proud of all of you. I think you're crushing it. I'm so excited. Can I take a video of you all looking cute? Okay, be happy. Yay! Brianna, you're fine. Awesome. All right. Please, please, please post your shit in Hybrid Hub. Stay on track. Marketing wise, do not fall out of integrity with posting at least one blog post by the end of the month. And then put on your calendar your days for your batching for February. Cool. You guys are crushing it. Obsessed with you. Love you. Bye.
And that is it for today, friend. Be sure to leave a review and screenshot that review and send it to me at Hybrid Hangout. I'd also love to see the episodes you're loving in your stories so I can share and say hey and thanks for listening. Basically, I just want to be friends. I will see you soon.